Hey, happy Friday, y'all. And good evening. Today, chapter 5, we're finally starting to get to the nitty gritty, but just before we get there, or I should say the nitty gritty, but the tail end of this video, but just before we get there, it's time to move on to chapter 5, which I'm going to entitle Betrayal. I'm having some problems with my damn devices. I can't update the damn subject matter, the title. You have to forgive me, I'm a little bit tired today. Not just today, but this entire week has been, this has been a pretty busy week. Pretty busy week full of a lot of different thoughts, a lot of different feelings. Knowing, what's coming. I want to thank y'all for showing up like you have. I want to thank you for listening to my story. I'm always hopeful that the truth that I know resides in me somehow is able to come through this device and be made real for those who have listened to all the lies. So having said that, let's do a little house cleaning, y'all. So, as I've said before in previous videos, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it in every video. The purpose of this live is not in any way, shape, or form to try to augment or change the minds of the masses that might have been lied to, the masses that might have decided to believe falsehoods, mainly because maybe it sounded good, maybe it fit what you thought about a particular individual or a particular situation, whatever the case may be for these lies that have been told. I am basically trying to keep a second memory, if you want, a backup data file, all right, in order to make sure that the things that occurred to me in my life over the past 3 years, maybe even 5, I don't know. As this thing goes, it is kind of fluid and it's living, and it'll keep changing as I recognize or remember things that I think are causal in nature or tied to the very truths that I'm speaking to in some way, shape, or form. I think anyone with a reasonable amount of discernment can take separate data points, string them together, and be able to determine what actually occurred in between those data points. But more importantly, like I said, to maintain my memory, to maintain the freshness of it, and also to help me recall maybe minute details that may have seemed innocuous or not important at the time, but may turn out to actually be just that important. So, having said that, again, like I said, I'm not here looking for anyone to try to champion my cause. I've been doing this thing by myself. I've been rowing this boat, so to speak, since June of 2025, and I'm perfectly capable of rowing this boat. So, having said that, let's get on to chapter 5, entitled Betrayal. Friends, family, uncles, cousins, neighbors, hear ye, all right? So, leaning back from the last story, or from the last chapter, I pretty much have given you guys everything that I can give you outside of the space that I wish to hold on to until the time is actually right. And I should actually ask you guys, I apologize, forgive me. I'm asking for your forgiveness. My eyes are red as shit because, well, I've been up late. Working, thinking, right, I need new projects now. One of the things about me is that I've always had to have some sort of target in front of me in order to try to reach or get to. And the thing about that is once you get to that goal, or you reach that goal, then you got to find a new goal. All right. So found some new goals. I started working on them. I'm excited about them. And what excites me the most about it is nobody knows about them but me, which means no one can try to deep six my battleships. In any event, so I'm going to get back to the story. So we talked about chapter 4. It's really kind of just a wrap up, just to kind of let you guys know that I'm on my way to getting to the real meat of the story. The reason why you guys are all watching, the real juicy, the tender, right? The best part of the cut of this meat, right? But like I said, before we get there, we have to talk about one last thing, which kind of orbits or satellites, you can take your pick, the widow and the half-sister. So while all of these things happened after my father unfortunately passed away, some interesting things surfaced, and there were some interesting things that occurred slightly just before everything came to a head with the untimely demise of my father. What is it? It's 10:40. I would have been trying to get here maybe a couple hours earlier, but one of the things I have been noticing after yesterday, I kind of finished up some things that I needed to do for my attorney, and unfortunately, after reading through documents and all these other things and trying to figure out who's who and what's what and all of this, that, and the third, I began to realize that I had reached a milestone within this whole situation, which has allowed me, and I'm going to say this, and I want to say this because I'm saying this actually to these people, to these would-be family members, these uncles, these aunts and cousins, and these former friends and neighbors who, for whatever reason, thought that it was, best practices to betray me. And so I've been a little bit emotional, right? Realizing that I had reached a milestone that I was hoping for back in June that I thought might never come. And so at this time, I really just want to stop and I just want to thank the Most High God for riding with me, right? For being my silent partner in a spiritual war where there were at least 100 people against me. And I'm going to talk to that a little bit later too. But like I said, there were some things orbiting, some things satelliting slightly prior to, and during, and even probably currently. Right? Two uncles of mine, my father's youngest brother, Jay, who I don't speak to. I think something's wrong with that guy up here somewhere, right? Very much like whatever it was that these so-called family members wanted to try to portray me as. Maybe I'm unstable mentally, or maybe I just don't have cognitive capability. I can't take care of myself. I don't know how to handle business. All of these ridiculous things that I believe have probably been spewed about me. I'm certain I'm gonna come to the truth about that in about a month or so. But in any event, this particular uncle, who I haven't seen since, I want to say 2014. I thought I changed the timing on that. Guys, I suck at technology. I apologize. But I hadn't seen him since 2014 when one of my favorite uncles passed away, and I sorely miss Uncle Robert. He was a real live wire, a lot of fun. That guy was in his 90s still trying to holler at women, and I can't lie. I hope one day, if I'm blessed enough to live that long, that I'm still out there trying to squeeze up on a little something. But anyways, I hadn't seen him since 2014. Mysteriously popped up on my Facebook account with an encrypted message to say, and I quote, "Hey, Dario, fuck you, nigga." And I'm like, what's going on? Now, first of all, first things first. In all of my videos, you have never seen me Speak that word. Why, Darvell? Well, because, I want my show to be kid friendly. No, that's not it. I just don't think that language is necessary. I don't think it's bad language necessarily, but I don't think it's necessary. But that's what he said, and I was simply quoting his statement, so don't hold it against me. And like I said, I'm a little flabbergasted. What the hell's going on here? Why are you sending me a note to tell me, fuck you? And why do I gotta be a nigga? I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I am. I most certainly have been. But at this stage of my life, I consider myself to be a man. Right? I'm not going to stipulate color. I don't even agree with that. Do I look black to you? I mean, I'm wearing black. I'm not black. Anyways, I'm a man. I'm not whatever it is you want to try to call me. So I have to assume that you called me that because you wanted me to be upset. I wasn't upset because I recognized that you said it because you were upset. And like I told you guys before, I'm Lake Placid. So I simply responded back to him and I told him, hey, miss me with that shit. And I laughed because, well, I thought it was quite funny. A so-called mental giant taking time out of his day to reach out to me via Facebook. I'm like, you can't call your sisters and get my phone number and call me and tell me what you really think? That way maybe we can have a didactic conversation about it. Wait a minute, maybe that word might be too big for him. Anyways, I digress. That was one of my first forays into understanding that I had done something to upset these people. Yeah? I don't know what it was. Or maybe I do. But I'm sure that whatever it was that I did, it was never none of your business anyways, Jay, and you know it. So, taking a lot of time, I never really came back with a retort other than miss me with that shit. But, hey, if he had taken the time to get my phone number and pick up the phone and call me, there were a couple of choice things I would have said. I would have said, hey, Jay, you remember all those times when I was a kid and you would come up to me and say, hey, you want to see grandma? And I'd be like, yeah, I want to see grandma because I love my grandma. And then you grab me by my neck and pick me up. That's not cool. That's not cool. But see, Uncle Jay noticed in 2014, I was much bigger than him. So I'm pretty sure he won't be wanting any of that anymore. But I also probably would have offered to put him in a figure 4 leg lock or a leg lock or something crazy. Maybe a triangle or what's that one in MMA that's really, an omoplata. Yeah, give you one of them omoplatas. And anyways, like I said, Uncle Jay's like, he's harmless. He's not even mentally a challenge. So there wouldn't even been a point to have that conversation. But now, my father's older brother, Tommy. Now this one really set me back because, I thought my Uncle Tommy loved me. I mean, he said it in his message. He must mean it, right? They're just words. They're just words. My Uncle Tommy, or former Uncle Tommy, I should say, decided to also send me an encrypted message to tell me how much the widow loved my father. To tell me what makes you think if your father left you anything, that we would keep it from you. Now, where I come from, what's known doesn't need to be said. So why do you need to say this? He thought that he could intimidate me. You see, my former uncle Tommy, my father's older brother, was spent quite a bit of time, several decades, in the penitentiary. So how would he be privy to any knowledge of anything having to do with the estate of my father, let alone the loyalty and duty of his widow? Well, I'll answer that for you. He doesn't. He doesn't know anything. Right? He doesn't know a damn thing, except that now that my father's gone, there's an opportunity for him coming fresh out of the penitentiary to have a place to lay his head. Maybe have a couple coin to rub together if he can help her or anybody else usurp me. Usurp what belongs to me as a lineal heir. That's why I wrote that notice. And you know what I see in those 2 emails, these encrypted Facebook posts, these instant messages being sent to me, meant to intimidate or frighten or upset or whatever the hell the purpose was. I don't even know. If I'm being honest, I don't really care. It's betrayal. That's what it is. It's betrayal. Because you see, in my mind, if I jump on a Facebook Live and I talk about the fact that people are trying to take something from me that doesn't belong to them, you, fake ass dear uncle, should have been willing to be in my partnership, to stand at my side as a lineal heir. But no. You're actually siding with the widow. That's some weird ass shit. And Jay, I don't know what the hell's going on with that guy, because as far as I know, he's nowhere near the nucleus of the family, which is in Northern California. Or at least it was. Yeah. So how about that? Couple fake ass uncles want to intimidate me, want to figure out a way how to help collude in ensuring that I don't receive a coin or 2 or anything, not even a ball of lint from the estate of my father, even though that's not what my father wanted. Now, that's betrayal number 1. Right? Family. Right? And like I've already told you about aunts playing dumb, right? Like 3 blind mice. Yeah. 3 blind ass mice. Oh, I don't know anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. Betrayal. Oh, guys, I have dealt with so much betrayal. Like you really would think I should probably be a little bit Looney Tune. You would also probably think, man, I should have seen Darvell on the 7 o'clock news, tearing up some stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, it's not like it's never crossed my mind. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit later about the beauty of why that didn't happen. Now, let's move on. Let's move on along. We'll forget all about fake family and their betrayal. Let's talk about some friends. See, I got some friends who I've known. I wasn't even a teenager. I think we were 10, 11 years old when we all became friends. And we've known each other all this time, been connected all this time. And what I did not know is all this time, these guys had some very unsavory thoughts about old Darvell. Even though, as I told you guys before in other videos, I've always been the friend that was able to offer assistance, but never receive it. If I needed it, it was never there for me. And I never had any gripes about it. Like I understood, hey, I have been blessed. And that was the reason why I helped my friends. That was the reason why I helped strangers. The reason why I'm not a greedy person. I don't covet money. I don't chase it. It's so weird. I don't go seeking it, but it comes to find me. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy for that. Hey, please, money, if you're listening, come on over. I got the fireplace going. Need some wine? I'll hook you up. Got a bed for you, everything. We're good. Come on over and hang out with a fella. And because of these blessings, I feel like it's always necessary for me to be willing to be a blessing to somebody else. But even despite the fact that I've been protected in nature of the friends that I love and care about, and I still care about them. I still love them. I have to do it from a distance. Yeah, I had to do it from a distance. And I'm okay with that too. But these friends, we'll talk about the first friend. First friend, we'll just call him Scorpio. Yeah. We'll call him Scorpio. So good old Scorpio and me, man, we've been running rag and tag together, peas in a pod, aces and booms, since 11 years old. A lot of firsts together, me and Scorpio. And everything was always good with Scorpio when he felt like he was above good old Darvell. And Darvell never cared who was above or who was below, but he did. I didn't know that at the time, but that's kind of how I see it now through a lot of contemplation. Well, Scorpio's probably sitting around in his chair having a good drink and thinking, Darvell, you should be thanking me. I'm the reason why you were able to get to where you were. And to that I would say untrue. Not entirely untrue, but wholly untrue. So here it is for you, Scorpio, if you're watching. I'm sure you're watching. You're always watching. Thank you, Scorpio. Thank you for helping me get the opportunity that I busted my ass to get to where I wanted to be. Yeah, you see, when I left California, he helped me get a job working in a warehouse. I got offered a promotion to move to Dallas, where we were corporately headquartered. And while there, I took advantage of every opportunity to get to where I wanted to be. And when I finally reached my purpose for leaving California, Kenny was then in a position to support me. Shit, did I just say his name? God damn it. No more late night videos for me. Scorpio. I meant to say Scorpio. Scorpio was so full of piss and vinegar that I had reached my goal. That he didn't want to help me. He didn't want me to be successful. Even though when he finally did make it to Dallas, I was always there to help support him to get where he wanted to go. I guess the definition of friend means something different to the Scorpio than it does to good old Darvell. See, friendship in my mind means, hey, if I got it and you need it, guess what? You got it. If you're hurting, I'm there to help heal you. If somebody hurt you, we'll go get them together. You need a place to lay your head, you can lay your head peacefully. You'll never feel like you don't belong there. At least at my house. Because there were times when we both needed help. And I'm not saying he didn't help. I'm just saying it was kind of shitty the way he did. But when you love somebody, you forgive them, right? You make excuses for their behaviors and their actions. I've done a lot of that too. And I suppose that's why the betrayal makes sense. Because they thought that they could do it and not just forgive them. You didn't even plan on growth. Did you even see me trying to grow? I've always been trying to grow. As a person, yes. Spiritually, yes. Mentally, absolutely. Emotionally, most definitely. In any event, when I saw Scorpio actively working against my success, I had no choice but to let go. I'm gonna miss you, Scorpio. I miss you all the time. Yeah, I needed to say that. But there will be no going back to betrayals. So let's move on down the line to my fellow fire sign. Sag, what up, Sag? Where you at, Sag? I ain't seen you in a while. You okay? Everything good? I hope everything's good. Like Scorpio, I wanted for Sag's success as well. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a good friend. Because that was always important to me. I tried to help Sag see what I saw. Help him get to where he deserves to be. I gave him those tools. I gave him information and knowledge. I was there to support him if he didn't know how to apply it. Sag didn't want to apply it. Sag wanted what I had. Good old Sagittarius wanted to be old Darvell. You know, just before I realized that Sag was up to some fuckery, I got invited to a party, birthday party. And I went to that birthday party with the Sag. Because the Sag was my boy just like Kenny was my boy. You know? He was my dude, he was my bro. He was my brother from another mother. Well, anyways, guys, at that party, the culmination of all of my hard work, and believe me, it was hard work. You think it's easy to look like this and get to where I got without a degree? Shit. It's hard. But in any event, at the height of my success, yeah, I'm feeling myself. But you know what? I think when people succeed at the things that they do, there's nothing wrong with them feeling themselves. As long as it doesn't make other people feel like crap. I never set out to make anybody feel like crap. Yet, seemed to be the result. So anyways, like I'm saying, we're at this party. And I gotta tell you, there's some fine women up in this party. It's a couple strugglers too. But it was some nice looking women. And there seemed to be a lot of energy on me from these women. Almost like they knew who I was before I even got there. Like they were waiting on me to get there. How y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Probably not, but it's okay. I'm gonna continue with the story. So I'm hanging out, chilling with my dude. And we looking. Now he's married. So hey, no touchy. You can look, no touchy. And he's watching me touch. And maybe that bothered him a little. Maybe it bothered him a little that there was so much there that wanted to be touched. Well, I'm just one man. I can't touch them all. I don't think I can anyway. Maybe I should try next time. In any event, I did find something there that I liked. I enjoyed the conversation and I exchanged some information, and I look forward to seeing that person again. Now, at this time, I'm also married, but I'm going in reverse on this story, so you got to give me a little grace. There's definitely a good reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because otherwise, being a married man, I wouldn't engage in this type of behavior. But I'm angry about some shit. And I want to be a little destructive. Took me a couple weeks to figure out that that's exactly what I was doing. But in those moments, destruction is on the table. So, meet this little young lady, we're having a good time, everything is everything. They decide, her and her little girlfriends decide they're gonna go somewhere else. I say, hey, I'm gonna catch up with you. I'll meet another young lady there after she leaves. I mean, hey, all's fair, right? So I meet this other young lady and, we go to the after party. And so I'm sure you can guess how those types of things move around. But what struck me as odd that night was Sagittarius looked at me and said, man, I've been watching you, man. Bill, man, you doing it. And I thought my boy was really trying to give me my props, right? Like I always thought, I never had any reason whatsoever to suspect that the Sag took issue with my success. Right? I mean, I've always been an outspoken person. I don't sugarcoat things. I speak to things as they are, but I never do those things to hurt, harm, or minimize or diminish the value of anybody. As a matter of fact, if I don't say shit, that's much, much, much worse, because I don't think there's any hope for you. But I was always in my boy's ear. I was always on his helmet because I knew that he had the potential within him that maybe he didn't see. But anyways, like I said, when he said what he said, I get this it's like a little flick in my head, and I got that little dink as soon as he said it, and I knew it was going to be trouble. Well, in any event, the next days go by, this, that, and the third. And old Sag gives me a pair of shoes. He wants to give me something. Now I'm usually the one happy to give and gift and purchase. So I was really happy to receive a gift from the Sag. But the gift that he gave me was a pair of used shoes. Mind you, these used shoes, they didn't fit him. They fit me. He didn't wear a size 12 or an 11.5 or an 11 for that fact. I think he's a 10.5 maybe. So in my mind, I gotta say, where the hell did he get these shoes? But more importantly, why are you giving me some used ass shoes? Now, if you know, you know. And if you don't, I'll tell you. So when I was a kid, long time ago, my mother told me a story about a family member of hers who was married, who did some spell work on a pair of shoes, hoping her husband one day would come home and put those shoes on, and then whatever that spell work was would take hold. And I think it was supposed to keep him from being grounded, to keep him never being able to stay in one place. I'm so sorry about these damn eyes. I don't know why that thing did not take. But in any event, when I took the shoes home, I was just looking at the shoes and I was thinking to myself, why would he give me these shoes? And I thought about that story. I hurry up, grabbed the shoes and took them out in the garage and I put them in the trash. And interestingly enough, every time we talked on the phone, the Sag would ask me, hey man, did you try the shoes? Do they fit? And well, although I do appreciate the truth and I love to share the truth, to speak the truth, and I prefer to never ever lie to myself, I lied to myself and I lied to him. And I said, yeah, man, they fit in the trash can. But I didn't tell him they were in the trash can. In any event, maybe a week or two goes by and I'm back up his way. He gives me a shirt. This is crazy. Man, I appreciate the love you got for your boy. Gave me a nice little Nike dry fit long sleeve. No tags. It's a used shirt. So now I gotta say to myself, okay, what the fuck is going on here? Well, I take the shirt, I wrap it up and I put it in my truck. And I circular filed the shirt too. But the interesting thing about the shirt was the shirt, as well as the shoes, was beginning to take the form of another individual that we both know. Family member of his. And, all I can say is, this is really interesting. Now, I can't say for sure if the shoes or the shirt belong to that family member. I don't have any actual proof, except for that little thing that keeps popping up in my head. So, I don't pay any attention to it. Kind of nonchalant like that. Like I can be in the midst of danger and still be nonchalant like that. So I throw those things away and then I begin to pay attention. I begin to pay attention to these things. While I'm there with the Sag, I had some bags. We were supposed to go shooting out in the country and I brought a couple long guns with me. And the weather, I think, got bad. I think it got rainy and we didn't want to be trudging around out there in the mud and stuff. So I left my hard case in his house with, you're supposed to be going for 15 minutes and warn me, buddy. Anyways, I left my hard case at his home and I also left my briefcase. Whenever I travel somewhere, I always take my work laptop and all those things. But I also had my business credit cards as well as my personals in that bag. And like I said, this is my boy. I've known him for years. I was his best man at his wedding. I had no reason to think that someone might try to go through my stuff. I hope he didn't go through my stuff, but I started having problems. I started having problems, identity theft type problems. Now, this is not me saying that he did something. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am going to say is that a couple months prior to that, he was in my home talking to me about all of these things that he wanted to do, and he wanted my help, and I was trying to help him. I helped him start looking at his credit, start trying to figure out how to repair and get prepared to purchase a home. I even paid for his monthly subscription to my FICO. But do you know that when I wanted him to take over payments for his access to his credit score, his credit reports, for whatever reason, he didn't seem to want to warm up to taking care of his own business. And all these things that he was saying about me coming up and doing this and doing that began to resonate in my mind that he was attacking me. He was attacking me, and whoever was giving him these clothes that I'm guessing spell work had been done on, and he giving me this shit. And I thought we were brothers, man. Betrayal. It's the only way I can see it. It's betrayal. But, it wasn't major. It wasn't anything crazy. So I said, let's move on because I love you. Yeah? And sometimes we don't know how to handle our emotions. Well, come that winter, and I didn't realize this, in that winter, that winter he was driving his pickup truck, and I don't know if he hit a patch of ice or something, but he rolled that truck. And who do you think he called first? He called me. Because, you know, good old Darvell, he's always there for his friends. He rolled his truck. His truck was totaled. It was the only vehicle that he had. He's got a family with kids. He's got a job. He's got an apartment. All these things will go to shit without a car. So I went to help him. Right? Like I said, it's my dude, it's my boy. We've been through some things together. We've had some experiences and some firsts together. It's the first I'll never forget. So we went down there. We went on down there and helped him find a car. And I tried to explain to him the path that I thought strategically would make most sense. Trying to tell him how to crawl before you walk. Walk before you run. Run before you sprint. But he wanted to go from crawl to sprint. Anyways, dumbass me, I bought their family a car. And he's supposed to take care of me. But he didn't take care of me. He promised I wouldn't have to call him looking for my money. So I didn't. And when the money didn't show, I didn't call either. I don't think we talked for almost a year. Because by that time, I just said, hey, you know what? It's time to cut losses. Whatever it is you got, you're welcome to keep. And I hope it serves you well. I hope you get where you're going. You're just not going to get there with me as your friend. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to care about you. I'm still going to love you. Just from a distance. Betrayal. Betrayal. Shit. That's all I can say it is, right? I can't call it anything else. I could call it all kinds of other shit. But I'm just going to choose to call it betrayal. So let's go on and move on to the last friend. Now this friend is a different type of friend. See, me and this friend, we didn't meet until we were grown adults. Or at least maybe he thought he was a grown adult and maybe I was still a kid. You know, with that young bone in me. And we're going to call this third friend. What should we call the third friend? We'll call the third friend the unhealed Leo. So the unhealed Leo befriended me while I was still living in California. Matter of fact, he did for a living what I used to do. He worked for United Parcel Service. And it was really funny because when I did work for United Parcel Service and me and another buddy were in the gym hitting it hard, I remember one day I was delivering to one of my accounts. It was Home Depot over in Santa Clara. And this white lady just comes running to me. Kevin, oh my God, Kevin. Oh shit, I said her name again. God damn it. I shouldn't do that. I should not do that. I'm sorry. Unhealed Leo. Heels click clacking and everything. I turned around and I said, man, my name is not Unhealed Leo. And she said, oh my God, you look just like my driver. And when I finally met him, I was like, no, you don't look like me. Not saying he doesn't look like, maybe I'm guessing that, you know, the young lady just thinks we all look alike. How about that? That's a fair statement. Let's just not be evil or petty. Anyways, unhealed Leo befriends me. We chit chat when he comes by to pick up and he comes by to deliver. Chop it up. Now, one of the things I've always wanted, and I believe I probably had mentioned this to people, was to have a group of friends that I could travel around the country and go do cool stuff. Go festivals, take a trip out the country, go whatever. But be on the move and not be local. So brother's like, hey man, we going to this little jazz festival, man, down in LA, man. You want to come with us, man? You can come with us, kick it, man. We're going to have a good time. And I'm like, man, shit, I'm down with that because I've been looking for something like this for a while. And, man, we hit it off. We kicking it. We good. You know, he's real aggressive with the ladies. I'm not an aggressive cat. I like to sit back and let my meals come to me. I'm like an ambush predator. But he one of them, he gotta be a little more aggressive than me. You know. But don't get me wrong, I think I'm also there to attract the honeybees. So in any event, like I say, you know, we kick it, we have a great time. I had an awesome time. Man, we liked it so much, we did it for the next, I don't know. If that was 05, we did shit, man. We must have did about 10, 11 years. Now, it might have been a couple times, 2 or 3 times when I just couldn't make it because, well, when I got to Texas, finances were a little difficult when I first got there. You know, I had to climb to get to where I could be comfortable. But as I began to climb, the unhealed Leo started to show me how unhealed he was. Just little stupid stuff, right? Like, you know, I cleaned up my credit is straight, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I got a couple little A1 credit cards in my wallet and I'm feeling like I made some accomplishments. Man, I tell you what, if somebody had poured water on his head, there would have been some steam coming up off that brother's head. But I'm late placid. When I see it, it is what it is, right? I see it, but I don't see any danger in it. So anyways, we fast forward. I'm married now. I built a house. I'm building another house. He owned the house, but lied to me about why he had to sell it. And just so you know, unhealed Leo, I knew you were lying when you said what you said. I just didn't want to say anything because I figured like, hey, you're going to lie to yourself, then you must have a good reason. I'll just put it that way. You must have a good reason. And he decided that he was going to leave the location, the area in which he was working and move to a different part of the state and work in that area, in a new hub, and new routes, different things like that, whatever the case may be. By now, he's not a package car driver, he's a feeder driver. And, I'm doing me. You know, I'm on the move. I'm trying to come up. I'm trying to get to where I want to go. I'm trying to get to my ultimate goal. Now, I'm not going to say what that goal is anymore because every time I speak what my goals are to people try to torpedo my shit. But he knew about these goals. He knew where I was headed. He knew what I was about to do and all these things were going on. But I had this crazy ass soon-to-be ex-wife. And we would chit-chat about it. You know, he'd let me blow my steam. You know, brother need to blow some steam sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. I never really got too crazy or intimate about what the hell was going on. I just would be like, man, this is what I'm dealing with in terms of a scenario, not necessarily specifics. And he would try to provide advice, but if I'm being honest, between just me and you, right? Like, while he's here, it's just me and you. I never took his advice because, well, he's never been married. What are you going to tell me about how to navigate a marriage if you've never been married? And every time I turn around, you got somebody new. Also, every time I turn around, you got somebody pregnant. So no, I wasn't really listening to this cat because, I mean, if you post us up side by side, no, brother, I'm going to listen to me every time because I'm looking at where your life is going. But anyways, like I said, this cat was dating this woman, and this is when I realized that the unhealed Leo was actually an unhealed narcissistic Leo. Now, this friend, and I tried to tell him, right? I tried to help him. He had met this little Spanish mommy, and she was packing a little something in the rear, on the rear end. And okay, we were men, so, we're attracted to what we're attracted to, and I get it, I understand. And so she's rocking with him, and he's rocking with her, and things are going great. Till she gets pregnant and starts finding out he's hollering at other women, and he's still seeing the woman he used to date for some 19 or 20 years that he left for her. So, long story short, they get into some shit. And the unhealed Leo, well, let's just say, the unhealed Leo didn't have credit. He was utilizing credit from these women. And although I knew that was not a good thing, I felt like, hey, it's not me doing it, it's him. So, no big deal. But what I really should have been looking at was, if these people are willing to do the things that they're willing to do for him, and believe me, they did some pretty amazing things for this cat. And he would screw them over like he did. Why didn't I see that he would try to screw me over too? I should have saw it. I guess maybe it's because I always felt like at that time, and maybe old Darville was a little unhealed too then, that if he ever crossed me, I'd slap him up to show that I was right. In any event, I wouldn't try to slap him up now. This wouldn't do any good. I mean, brother's older than me and he's doing the dumb shit he's doing, so he's never gonna stop. But what he said to me one night gave me the chills. So he calls me and he says, hey, Darville, man, I'm in a bad space, man. Old girl just kicked me out, man. Threw all my stuff out on the street. Ain't got nowhere to go. Me being the friend that I am, and me being as blessed as I've been, I said, well, what's going on, brother? What you need? He said, man, I need $2,900. And at the time, I was still in the middle of building that second house. I hadn't built it yet. And I was like, I'm gonna have to do some math on this one because I'm not gonna miss my closing date because you need $2,900. But, I could do it. I knew I could do it. So I didn't want the boy out on the street. I mean, we've been good friends. So I thought. So I wanted for his stability too. Right? I had stability and his stability. Not knowing he didn't want for my stability. So I let him borrow the money. He gets a place, and then I think he got the place using a cosigner. The cosigner found out what he was doing with the other chick and went and terminated the lease. So there goes my $2,900, right? Now, how can I say this and not feel embarrassment? It's real simple. I'm not the villain in this story. But like I said, we're on the phone one night, and he tells me, old girl that he was dating for 19, 20 years, who knew that he left her to go be with somebody else and got that somebody else pregnant, was willing to take him back and give him a place to lay his head. Now, wouldn't you think if somebody out of the goodness of their heart forgave you for the bad shit that you did to them and allowed you to lay your head in their house when you didn't have anywhere to go, that you would have nothing but the highest regard for that person? But on this night, this brother tells me, man, I can't wait, man. As soon as I get myself together, man, I'm gonna get up out of here and I'm gonna make sure I tell her how shitty of a person she is and whoop-de-whoop and this and that. I was like, whoa. I said, for real? I said, you want to hurt this person. The same person who pulled your ass up out of the homeless. Like, you could have been in a homeless shelter. You could have been sleeping in your car. Anything could have happened to you. She gave you a place to be, and you're contemplating how you're going to hurt her when you leave. He didn't do anything to me. But I wasn't going to allow him to be able to be in a position to do so after hearing that. He's a betrayer. He wanted to betray that woman. He had been betraying that woman. And soon I would be next. So I said, no. No. No more betrayal. So Scorpio, Sag, unhealed Leo. Please know I do still love you guys. I care very much for you guys. I hope you guys are well. I'm just going to do it from a distance. Last but not least, guys, cousins. Guys, I got quite a few cousins. Some of them, a generation younger than me. Some of them in my generation. And the ones that still breathing, the generation previous to me. And for these cousins, I can group them all together because since all of this foolishness began with the widow and the half-sister, none of my cousins have called to say, hey, what's going on? Or, hey, guess what I've heard? Well, guess what I found out? Or this is what I know. Or maybe even, man, this is fucked up. This ain't right. None of them have called me to say any of those words. None of them even called to say, fuck you, Darvell. Betrayal. That's what it is. So why am I telling you all of these things about betrayal? I'm telling you these things so that you guys will know and understand one thing. At this point in my life, the majority of the people who I have held in high regard have betrayed me. Because I don't know, maybe I'm an asshole. If I am, put it in the comments. Darvell, you're an asshole. Shit. Maybe I am. I hope I'm not. Most certainly not making the attempt to be. Maybe in the past I didn't mind being one. I still don't mind being one now when I have to be. But I don't live 24/7 to be an asshole. And I think assholes are worthy of betrayal. And since I'm not an asshole, I'm not worthy of betrayal. But while we're talking about betrayal, I share these stories with you for one simple plain fact. And that is, if you're like me and you care about yourself, you love yourself, and you treat yourself well, and you treat those around you like you treat yourself, just make sure that those people are giving you the same energy. You should be receiving close to equal energy. No, don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be like for like. I'm not saying, hey, I did this for you, you need to do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you should be seeing a similar level of activity, a similar level of output for the output that you give. And if you do not, I'm just going to say plainly, you may want to dive into a little discernment and figure out whether or not you actually have a betrayer on your hands. But now for the cousins that haven't said anything to me about what they all know is going on, I have to consider them complicit in what's going on. And so I needed to say that because, well, I know that these cats are nosy. I'm not talking to any of these people. I don't have anything to say. The only thing that I have are my battle plans on that dry eraser board, these hands, and this mind, and this mouth. And I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to use it to betray anybody. I'm going to use these things to plain and simply keep certain things at a distance and to focus on to focus on achieving my goal, which is to win. You see, the crazy thing about these betrayers and their actions, all of these actions, like the actions of the widow and the half system, were meant to harm me emotionally, to harm me mentally, to set me back into a place where maybe I don't want to move. Maybe I don't want to move forward. Maybe I'm afraid of everything. Maybe I think everybody's out to betray me. Yeah, right. But I don't feel that way. Don't get me wrong. I'm moving with a whole lot more discernment at this point. But their efforts, the efforts of the cousins, the efforts of the friends, the efforts of even my crazy ass neighbors. Yeah, I got neighbors doing crazy shit too. I'm not gonna go all into that because that really is meaningless. Like you just live next to me. There is no love here. There's no care, no concern. All right, so they're really meaningless. But for family members, for people that I do love and I care about, that I have to now keep at a distance, I'm saying this because I want them to know. I don't need you. I don't need anything. I'm self-sufficient. I'm autonomous. I am good. But if you are a betrayer, and you will know who you are, please, when all of the dust settles, stay where you are. Do not reach out to me. Don't apologize to me. Don't attempt to ingratiate or excuse or offer a reason. You don't need to defend yourself to me. I am okay with your betrayal. I've had lots of betrayal. It's manageable. I can deal with that. I'll be just fine. You know, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I needed to get through this in order for the next, I think it's going to be 5 or 6. I haven't finished the outline yet, but I think it's going to be 5 or 6 videos that this video is going to make sense about once I start to talk to you guys about the dark witch that I married. Is she a witch? I don't know. Listen, I got to come up with a really good name for her, but in the next video, next week, we will begin talking about the ex-wife and all of the dumb shit that culminated between me and her. Because like I've said before in videos that I made in 2025, this was a 3-pronged attack, right? People at my place of business attacked me. My ex-wife and her family and my family attacked me. And friends, so-called friends, attacked me. Yeah, that's how it all went down. So tune in next week, guys. I am going to tell you all about wifey, ex-wifey. Yes. That's what we'll call her, ex-wifey. Yeah. Yeah. So, ex-wifey, next week, it's you, girl. And I know you're watching. I know you're watching. Until then, guys, I am so sorry that I came in so late and I'm a little bit looser than I expected to be. I did not mean or wish to say any names. That was not the purpose of. The purpose of this is not to really tell on people. I'm not trying to tell on anybody about what they did other than tell you what happened to me. Right? This is what I'm trying to communicate to you guys, what all went down. Unfortunately, I did make a couple of mistakes, and they indeed were mistakes. They were not intentional at all. I've been reading books again, guys. I hadn't really picked up a book in a while. I'm reading a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It is a very good book. For young people, if you got children that are just starting out in their adult lives, it's probably a really good book for them to read. A lot of the ideologies in that book I have been utilizing my entire life to get to where I am. And I promise you, if you read that book and you take hold of anything that's good that you find that resonates with you, it can benefit you tremendously. I mean, there are some people right now that think that if they hack my bank accounts, that they'll stop my train. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking about that real quick, that's some of the work that I've been doing that's kind of got my eyes red. I'm tired. I'm tired of reading documents. I'm tired of looking at stuff, and I'm tired of putting everything together. But New Year's Eve, somebody tried to hack into one of my business accounts. I found out a couple of days ago, one of my business accounts was hacked from the very beginning. Well, like I'm saying, when I got hacked for real in June of last year, I went to the drawing board, and I made some plans. The way I always make my plans, I make the formal plan, the plan that I want to work. That's my big wish, and then I make a backup plan for just in case there's an anomaly, something I didn't account for, a variable, something that changes how I have to operate in order to meet success. And then I make a backup plan for the backup plan. You should try it sometime. Damn it, I should make a backup plan for these damn lights. But in any event, hackers, and if you're watching, hacker, hey, look, man, I dare you, I double dare you, I triple dog dare you. Get in there, man, take that money. Destroy me financially. I guarantee you, it won't stop shit. Because I have a backup plan. Oh, and a backup plan for the backup plan. There is no stopping me from getting to my destination. Like I said, it's always, I think I have to kind of keep saying that because I think people really believe that if they do enough, I don't know, rituals or spell work or whatever the foolishness is that these guys are doing, that somehow it's going to change things, but it's not. It's not. Because I'm on the right side of right. And as I've just explained to you guys, I have 3 friends who I would go to the ends of the earth to help if they needed my help. And those are just friends. What do you think I'll do for family? I would do the same thing and more for family. And I know that the Most High knows that that's what's in my heart. It's the reason why none of this shit is affecting me. And I'm not saying any of this right now with ego. This is not hubris. I am a prideful person, but this is not me trying to lord greatness or anything or betterment over anybody. That's not what this is about. This is me trying to show you who I am, why it's working, and that it can work for you too. Ego can be a dangerous thing. Ego causes people to shoot other people because they didn't say thank you because you held the door open. to shoot another person because they tried to shield another body from being attacked by an ICE agent with pepper spray and real bullets. Now, I want to say something right now, and this ain't got nothing to do with Darvell, ain't got nothing to do with a widow or a half-sister. It has to do with this entire world. You know, guys, every time I ask, and it is an ask, it's always only an ask. Because whatever you decide to do has to come from your heart. But when I talk about telling somebody something nice, when I talk about providing happiness, right? Sharing a smile, a nicety, something that doesn't cost you anything, a hug, a good job, hey, good job, a pat on the back, whatever it is. It's not just about that minute moment where you can say something nice or you can do something nice to bring about happiness for somebody else. It is about something so much larger. It is about collectivizing, right? Instead of separating. The biggest problem that we have right now in this world is people are afraid to show love. It is easier for people to show hate than love. You got so many people willing to spread hate. We are not going to get out of this shitstorm hating on each other. We're just not. And until people realize that unless your ass is sitting all the way on the mountaintop with billions of dollars in your pocket, you're just like everybody else. And I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you live in a 5,000 square foot home. I don't care if you have sprawling 10 acres. If you are not the top 1%, you are down here on the bottom with all of us. And it's a game of tug of war, guys. So if everybody don't start pulling at the same time, that little red flag is going to slide over to where they want it to go. I don't think y'all want to see that. I know I don't want to see that. Please don't make me move to another country. Anyways, let me get on out of here. I'm not trying to be political. I'm just really trying to simply say societies and communities are successful because the people in them work together. We got people trying to tear up society, guys. You got to make a choice as to whether or not you want that to happen. And if you do want it to happen, please, I would love to hear a really good reason for it, because I don't see one. Till then, hey, laugh, hug, kiss your babies. Love you guys. Bye.